Congress is working away on the next revised stimulus bill to build back better. What's on the horizon is not looking good. I'm gonna get you caught up on the latest. This is your breaking news. Stimulus checkup, date and stimulus package update. Representative Hakeem Jeffries said that he was very confident that Democrats were going to be retaining the majority in the midterms. And a lot of people raised their eyebrows at that because Biden's approval rating is plummeting. Democrats are not being approved by the American people. But he said Democrats were going to be making decisive action very soon, passing legislation, and whatever it didn't get through, they were going to be having executive orders and actions, which made a lot of people wonder, does he know something that we don't know? Well, take a look at the White House response. White House economic advisor Brian said that we're just in a period of transition, but the vast majority of Americans are not buying it. Most Americans say that things are going badly now under a distracted and incompetent President Joe Biden, and that our economy, it is not good. Things are not looking like they are going to be getting better anytime soon. As a matter of fact, take a look at these headlines coming out with food prices, claiming the UN is warning that a crippling food shortage could be coming on a global scale. 27 million tons of grain are planned for exports, but they are stuck in Ukraine that can't go out to help supply the world with food. And Russia is saying that they are not the source of the problem. They are saying the West is the United States and all those who place sanctions on Russia. But what we are hearing is food is not going to be available. It's not going to be on store shelves. And if it is, we are going to be paying a pretty hefty price to access that food. Now, gas prices are up as well. Oil, we are having issues with that. And $4.60 a gallon is now the national average. So, as a result of all of this, we are hearing that Congress, they have got to pass something to help out the American people and take a look at this fizzling legislation known as the Build Back Better agenda. And we are also going to see are going to be passing some of the most popular provisions among people, like the child tax credits, the profound impact on giving American families a little bit of cash, 6 months of payments. After that, they just stopped and they said that lifted children out of poverty. In addition to that, by far the most popular and the one we hear that fought poverty the most during the pandemic stimulus checks, and new bills for that are back on the table. Fourth, federal level checks for everybody in the nation, the CNA for $600 just for food and gas for low income, and one for everybody in the nation, a for federal level check of $8,000 coming from a Republican in the House of Representatives. There are a lot of provisions available at the state, city, and county levels. We are hearing 90% of people that are eligible for this government assistance and programs that are out there, they don't even know they exist, and they miss out on these free funds that have been made available. Something we are taking into consideration. Now, Democrats want out the Build Back Better as a policy that could help them win the midterms, but as even the possibility of a scaled-back version of President Biden's signature legislation had failed in a 50-50, some are wondering if the president will have anything comparable to campaign on as the election season inches closer. The White House considered the $1 trillion bipartisan infrastructure law passed last fall as a major legislative accomplishment, that infrastructure bill that was tied to building back better. They also see Biden's $1.9 trillion relief bill as a win for the American Rescue Plan, and they say that the fight over some version of the Build Back Better bill is not over. They are working a way to try to revise it and get a slimmed down version passed. Now, some in the party questions whether those fees are enough to energize voters, particularly after Democrats spent months last year talking about lowering childcare costs, paid leave, and extending the now expired temporary expansion of the child tax credit as an answer to the pressures that families are feeling over inflation. It gives them fewer weapons in the fight to retain control of the House and the Senate going into the midterms. Another Democratic strategist added for the longest time. All they talk about was building back better and how it was going to be this incredible thing. Reading on essays between the Recovery Act and the bipartisan infrastructure bill, there is a lot of great policy wins in those bills. Strategist Roger Molina, we just need to deconstruct it because most people don't remember what was already accomplished. I could urge lawmakers not to complain about what wasn't in the bill, but to celebrate and promote what is in the bill. We tend to be obsessed with what we did not get done. Now going through the article, they cover more provisions that did not get done, such as the child tax credit and paid family leave. Also, prescription drug prices have been reduced, and we didn't hear anything about stimulus checks. So, we are going to be seeing what's going to be happening, and all of these provisions that we haven't seen done, they are actually being put back onto the table. If they are able to assemble some form of legislation, a new bill that they can agree upon, will they be able to pass it through the process of reconciliation in the Senate, or will it get stalled? Jumping down, the article say the Build Back Better agenda was envisioned as getting to Biden's deck through a complicated budgetary process that could have prevented the GOP filibuster or the reconciliation process. It was torpedoed when Senator Joe Manchin said he opposed it in December over inflation worries, and Senator Kristen Sinema, another Democratic senator, had also been an impediment because of her opposition to higher taxes as a part of the plan. Now, Senator Joe Manchin and Senator Majority Leader Chuck Schumer have been continuing to talk, but there's little optimism about a deal that can be reached. Democrats express a mixture of regret and happiness over its fate, but some representatives hate juries and other Democrats are saying they are optimistic that not only are they going to get it done, but they are going to win in the midterm elections. If they are not able to pass anything through legislation, there are still executive orders and executive actions. And we have received word that there are over 800 billion unused previous stimulus package funds just sitting that could be reallocated through them. And as you know, the president cannot issue new funds, but we've heard he can reallocate existing funds.